Hey, what is up, everybody? Jay Pounds here. We got another video for you. This week, I am going to switch things up a little bit. The last few weeks, we've been talking about dart throws and your sleepers for your rookie drafts or players to pick up after your rookie drafts. This week, I wanted to just kind of dedicate this week to the rookie draft. Um, my next article won't come out in time or before the rookie draft begins, so this is kind of my last hurrah before we start rookie draft. So I wanted to give you guys a little something special here. I went ahead and did a full 3-round rookie mock draft for you guys. I did have some help. I want a special thanks to Tom Ailing. His Twitter is at flanker546. Please go give him a follow. He helped me out quite a bit on this. I didn't want it to be just such a one-sided type deal, to where I just basically listed my rankings for you guys to pick from. So I definitely appreciate his help and kind of giving me a little bit of a variety and a different view of opinion on these guys a little bit. I really appreciate it, Tom, and I look forward to working with you again in the future. That being said, we have a writers league we are going to be starting. It will probably be a $50 buy-in. It's here on Dynasty Owner. If you create fantasy football content, let me know if you'd like to join. If you want to, I'll be posting about it on Twitter and everything. So if you miss this, it's not a big deal. Or if you forget about it, you'll definitely see it on Twitter. As long as you're following me, I'll be tagging at Dynasty Owner in it as well. It's just basically I want a competitive league. I want a lot of good minds in it. I want a lot of people that are going to be interactive in it. So if you think this is a league that sounds right for you, please give me a message or something on Twitter. Comment on this video, anything really. But we'll get that started here. I would say probably right before preseason or first week or two of preseason. That was when we'll probably do the draft. That way we get plenty of time to fill everything and things of that nature. But that being said, this is kind of going to be a longer video, so let's get right into things. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my article. That way you guys can kind of follow along with the draft. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about these guys. You guys probably know a lot about them all already. I'll let you know their salary, things of that like that, the order they're picked, and then just a little brief description of them. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. First overall, we had Trevor Lawrence going 4 years, $9 million, Jacksonville's quarterback. Trevor Lawrence was the clear-cut best player of this draft. Every scout, every analyst loves Trevor Lawrence. I haven't heard hardly any negative about the kid. So you can't go wrong as a rebuilding owner picking Trevor Lawrence #1 overall, because you're planning on him being on your roster for a long, long time. And the 4 years, $9 million is kind of a bargain to begin with, especially if he lives up to even 3/4 of the hype that has been brought to be. Number 2, we have Najee Harris, 4 years, $3.2 million, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The kid's going to get 250 plus touches his first year as long as he stays healthy. Pittsburgh didn't draft him in the first round to give him 100 touches. He is going to be a workhorse. Mike Tomlin loves bell cow running backs, and that's exactly what you're going to see Najee Harris be in Pittsburgh. I forgot to mention also, Tom had the odd picks. I gave him the 101 since he was the special guest here, and then I have the even picks. So Tom went Trevor Lawrence. I went Najee Harris at the 2. Tom at the 3 takes Kyle Pitts, 4 years, $8.2 million, tight end, Atlanta Falcons. Generational talent. He is expensive for a rookie, especially at tight end. If he takes that little bit to develop, that could end up, it's not going to hurt you any per se. It's going to cost you a little bit of money in the beginning, but you'll still get a year or two of value, hopefully. That's what you really want out of your rookies. You want them to produce when they're rookies. That way you get that valuable contract. As a rebuilding owner, that's not necessarily as important. And, at least the pay for Kyle Pitts isn't going to go up tremendously. It might double at most. You look what Travis Kelce's getting. So once he signs that, if he breaks out and signs his second contract, hopefully it won't cost you everything, basically. At the 104 was me. We have Jamar Chase, 4 years, 7.5 million, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Um, when he played in college, he was the best receiver by far every time he stepped on the field. And guys, he had Justin Jefferson on the same field. And we remember what that kid did last year. It worries me he sat out last year. I don't like seeing football players sit a full year out, but we have seen players do it and come back. If anybody can, it's Chase. I've seen some workout videos and things like that. The dude looks absolutely jacked. He's definitely stayed in shape. So I look for him to reunite with Burrow and just take off immediately. He'll bring you value from week one on, in my opinion. At the 105, we got Tom's pick, Justin Fields. He sniped me here. Oh, I wanted Justin Fields so bad. I was hoping he would fall there because he took Lawrence, but I wasn't thinking in the traditional sense that we were, I was looking at it a little differently than I should have, I guess. I was thinking, all right, he took Trevor Lawrence already. He's not going to take Justin Fields here. And then he did. And I was like, oh, man, I should have took Justin Fields earlier, but that's all right. He got Justin Fields here, 4 years, 4.7 million, just a tremendous value, especially if he can get on the field early. The kid's got athleticism. He's accurate. I've heard a lot of stuff about he doesn't go through his reads and things like that. I'm a diehard Ohio State fan. This kid's going to succeed. You can't tell me otherwise. At the 106, I took Trey Lance, 4 years, 8.5 million. I took Trey Lance here just because the last time we seen Kyle Shanahan with the quarterback he wanted, it was like really, really wanted. It was Robert Griffin III, and he won Rookie of the Year over Andrew Luck. I have high expectations for Trey Lance. I'm just a big-time believer in Kyle Shanahan. I have been since he was in Cleveland and took them with the Brian Hoyer year. It was just when Mike Pettin was the coach, it was just impressive what he was able to do with that team, and I've just been a huge fan of him since. I started to notice him really when RG3 had his run, and then once he went to Cleveland, it was game over from there. And then he's been in the Super Bowl a couple times since. So Trey Lance has a ton of upside. I have no problem taking him at the 106 there. At the 107, Tom took Jalen Waddle. 4 years, 6.7 million, wide receiver, Miami Dolphins. Waddle's a speed demon, man, but he gets unfairly labeled as nothing but a speed demon. With Waddle, he's excellent underneath. I think a lot of Waddle is going to depend on what Tua can do. Tua did not look all that great last year. If he can come out and make some strides and really improve as a passer, I think Jalen Waddle is going to be a tremendous value for the next 4 to 5 years. I'm not too sure what his 5th-year option is, but at least for the next 4 years, you got Waddle at 6.7. At the 108, I went ahead and took Javonte Williams, 4 years, 2.2 million, running back, Denver Broncos. If I'm a rebuilding owner here at the 108, I can invest in a running back at this point. No problem, especially one that's probably not going to get a ton of work his first year. There is that chance that Melvin Gordon gets suspended, and if he does, maybe I trade Javonte Williams to a contender and get a king's ransom in return because they want that, for their chase for the ring run or whatever it may be. Javonte Williams was one of the highest graded, if not the highest graded PFF running back, or he was given the highest PFF grade ever at running back for a college season last year. Just tremendous talent. I like the landing spot. Melvin Gordon's contract only runs through this year. He should be a tremendous dynasty value, especially for a rebuilding owner. Next year you get him without all that wear and tear on his body, and I just think it's an excellent situation there, especially if they don't re-sign Gordon. Number 9, the 109, we got Zach Wilson for Tom. 4 years, 8.7 million, quarterback for the Jets. He's going to be a day one starter. I think he's getting a lot of unfair criticism because of the organization he was drafted to. We just seen a tumultuous, I just said that word, all sorts of wrong. We just seen such a horrible run from the Jets for the last few years with Adam Gase. It's just been absolutely pathetic, and I think people are just lumping Zach Wilson in with that. There's a whole new coaching staff there. They really drafted to help Zach Wilson out, and I think you'll just kind of to see that pay pay dividends in the beginning for Zach Wilson and really help his growth a little bit. I don't know if I truly believe in the kid or not, but they've definitely given him tools to succeed, and it's not Adam Gase coaching him, so he's got a better chance than Sam Darnold. At the 110, I took Travis Etienne, 4 years, $3.2 million, running back Jacksonville. Urban Meyer came out and said Travis Etienne is a third down back. They've been giving him a lot of wide receiver work. It almost makes me believe it. But in 2021, you don't draft a running back in the first round as a third down back. That's somebody you draft in the fourth, fifth, sixth round. You just don't do it. Travis Etienne, it's going to be his backfield eventually. James Robinson isn't going anywhere. I'm not saying that. He's still going to get plenty of touches, probably maybe 10 to 12, 12 to 15 type. I see him being a run-heavy team this year. Urban Meyer has always been a run-heavy coach. They're going to pound the rock, and I think Etienne will just bring tremendous value, especially if you want to trade him. I don't know if I like him as a rebuilding owner, but at some point, a contender is going to give you a haul for him, man. You're going to get probably 2 firsts or something for him if you trade him at the right time. So I don't mind taking Etienne there. I was torn between him or Devontae Smith, especially as a rebuilding owner. I went with the cheaper salary there and the player I felt was going to give me a better trade value if I wanted to during this season. So I ended up going Etienne there. At the 111, Tom took Devontae Smith, 4 years, $5 million, wide receiver Philly. This was one of my favorite picks of the draft. The fact that Devontae Smith is at the 111 in a draft. Any other year, he'd be the first wide receiver, second wide receiver off the board. Here, you're getting him at the 111. It's just the depth at the top of this class is unbelievable. If you have a first-round pick, it is very valuable this year. That being said, it's never going to be more valuable. More than likely, it will never be more valuable than when you're on the clock. So if you're, in this position where I was at the 110 and thinking, all right, I'm going to take Etienne and then trade him, see what you can get right then and there for him. Because if Etienne falls to the 110, I bet you can get a lot for him at that point. At the 112, we have Rashad Bateman. 4 years, $3.1 million, wide receiver, Baltimore Ravens. This was my pick. The ADP has him a lot lower from what I'm seeing here on Dynasty Owner, but as a first-round draft pick in an ascending offense, in my opinion, I don't know if Lamar Jackson's ever going to be a true pocket passer. He'll never be a true pocket passer, but I don't know if he's ever going to throw for 4,500 yards in a season. But that being said, Rashad Bateman has the tools to become the number one guy instantly in Baltimore. They did sign Sammy Watkins. They have Hollywood Brown, but I see Hollywood Brown being more of a Robin to Rashad Bateman's Batman. Bateman Batman. That kind of goes together. But that's just my thoughts there. That's why I took Bateman. A cheap salary for a potential number one wide receiver too at $3.1 million. Same with Devonta Smith. The fact that you're getting Rashad Bateman at the 112, as a rebuilding owner, I got no problem going receiver there over your next pick, as you can see down there on the screen, Trey Sermon. The first pick in the round 2, Tom took Trey Sermon, 4 years, $1.2 million. Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan we trust. That's all I got to say about Trey Sermon, Ohio State Buckeyes, and Kyle Shanahan. It's going to be a good situation. Now, they spent a ton of draft capital trading up to get Trey Lance, ton, and then they turn around and trade up to get Trey Sermon. They believe in this kid. They're going to use this kid, and probably by next year he'll be the lead back in the Kyle Shanahan, Trey Lance ran offense. Not a bad pick at all, especially if it pans out the way I think it will. I am a little biased on Trey Sermon because I'm a Buckeyes fan, but the kid tore it up at the end of last year, and he really started to find his groove. And if he just carries that over into the NFL season, he's going to be hard to stop. At the 2-2, I took Michael Carter and regretted it instantly because I forgot Mac Jones was sitting there. I guess I didn't forget, but I overlooked the fact that this was a rebuilding type deal. And then, like I said, I was looking at it a little wrong. I already had Trey Lance, and And I just looked at it a little bit wrong there. I should have took Mac Jones over Michael Carter. But anyway, Michael Carter was the pick at the 2-2. The kid has a chance to be the Jets lead back. I don't necessarily think he has the tools to do it. I think he's more like a Tariq Cohen type guy that with a little bit better between the tackles. But there's nobody else there. They got Ty Johnson and LaMichael Pirine, and neither one of them have really impressed. I don't mind Ty Johnson. I think he could potentially do it, depending on what type of offseason he had with himself. But Michael Carter is going to get the chance to be a starter in the NFL right away. Go ahead and take a shot on him, especially if you're not high on somebody like Mac Jones or Elijah Moore. Michael Carter's not a horrible pick there, but like I said, I would have went Mac Jones as a rebuilding owner there. I just overlooked it. At the 2-3, we got Mac Jones. I don't think he could have fell into a better spot unless he went to San Francisco. The Patriots, in their quarterback, they want somebody that's accurate and that makes the right plays, and Mac Jones is excellent at both of those. I think he's going to fit in great. As much as I hate saying it, he kind of reminds me of Tom Brady. He's just an accurate pocket passing quarterback. I don't think he's going to be Tom Brady by any means, but if he's given the tools around him, which the Patriots have seemed to do this offseason, especially if they go out and get Julio, good Lord, Mac Jones has a chance to be a very successful NFL starter in New England under McDaniels and Belichick. He just fits that mold. Cam Newton's there, obviously, and if we see anything like we seen out of Cam Newton last year over the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, he's going to be on the bench. The Patriots did not spend that kind of money this offseason to watch Cam Newton struggle like he did last year. I promise you, if he comes out and struggles, Mac Jones will be on the field sooner rather than later. At the 2-4, we have Elijah Moore, wide receiver, New York Jets. This was my pick. I love Elijah Allen. I hate his landing spot, and it's not necessarily because it's the Jets like the whole Wilson thing. It's more because they have Keelan Cole, Jamison Crowder, Corey Davis, Denzel Mims on the roster. It clears up a little bit next year, but they gave Corey Davis that big money. Denzel Mims was a second-round pick last year, so he's definitely going to have to fight his way for some targets. But I think he can succeed there, especially next year. I think he'll be a solid fantasy option next year. But I just really like the prospect of Elijah Moore. At the 2-5, Tom took Rondell Moore, the other Moore. 4 years, $1.7 million, wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals. I like Rondell Moore's talent a lot. Same situation as Elijah Moore, though. Both the Moores got buried. He's behind a potential Larry Fitzgerald, Nuke Hopkins, Christian Kirk. They still have Andy Isabella for whatever that's worth, and then A.J. Green. So he definitely has maybe a little bit easier path than Elijah Moore, but he's still got a tough path to get on the field this season. He's in the same boat. I think 2022 is when you'll really start to see Rondell Moore make his mark if he's going to make one at all. At the 2-6, I took Kadarius Toney, 4 years, $3.4 million, wide receiver, New York Giants. I know I preach all the time that you need to have cap space as a rebuilding owner, and right here is why. This is an expensive dart throw at the 2-6, but Kadarius Toney has first-round draft capital. If you got somebody with first-round draft capital midway through the second round, take him. He's going to be utilized. He's going to get chances. He's gonna get a lot of work. So you want to just be able to afford to throw these types of darts if they happen to fall to you, or if your whole league just is really low on Wilson for some reason and he's sitting at the 2-5 or 2-4, you got to take him there, and you got to have the cap space to do it in case he does blow up. Then you trade him and turn a second round pick into something special, So that's just kind of the mindset you want to have as a rebuilding owner there. But at the 2-7, Tom took Terrace Marshall, 4 years, $1.4 million, wide receiver, Carolina Panthers. I hear a lot the whole Curtis Samuel vacated targets, but they are going to get Christian McCaffrey back, so that'll eat up quite a bit of those. I do like Terrace Marshall reuniting with Joe Brady. He had a great year when he played with Joe Brady at LSU. Robbie Anderson's contract only runs through next year, so again, the 2022 theme is really playing out in the second round. This is where the draft really got interesting. I said that to Tom, and he's like, "You mean gross?" And I was like, "Yeah, gross is a better word." But it is what it is. These guys we didn't see a lot of good landing spots this year, and you just kind of got to take it for what it's worth and bet on these guys for 2022 and beyond. It's a 2-8. I took Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 years, $1 million, wide receiver, Detroit. Dude's got nobody in front of him. He's got Quintez Cephas, Perryman. I think they signed him. Tyrell Williams. I go over this every week and forget. But there's nobody in terms of elite talent in front of this kid. He's probably gonna see 100 targets this year. It wouldn't surprise me at all in this offense with the amount of no talent they have in front of him. It's an excellent dart throw this late in the second round. At the 2-9, Tom took Amari Rodgers, 4 years, $1.2 million, wide receiver, Green Bay. I love the pick. Amari Rodgers is an excellent talent. The only thing that sucks here is Aaron Rodgers wanting out of Green Bay. You're dependent a little bit on Jordan Love there. Obviously, if he's talented, he's going to get some work. But they do have a veteran wide receiver. They got MVS. I don't think Alan Lazard re-signed, but Devonta Adams. It's just and. It'll be tough for him to get a lot of targets, but he's a good talent. I do think he can beat out MVS and probably just make MVS the deep threat that he should be, and really kind of to be the number 2 to Devonta Adams. At the 2-10, I went with Chuba Hubbard. I think I said that right. 4 years, $1 million, running back, Carolina. Really, the only reason you're drafting Chuba Hubbard is because you've seen CMC look human last year and get hurt. If maybe he's not fully healthy, it's just a handcuff pick, really. I figure if you take him here, you trade him to the CMC owner for somebody that you like on their roster and turn the 210 into one of your guys, maybe. That's kind of my thought process there, taking him. If the situation was more clear with Deshaun Watson, I would have sniped Tom here at the 211. I would have took Nico Collins at the 210, but the Deshaun Watson situation is it's bad. I honestly don't see a chance that he gets on the field this year. I just posted on my Twitter, who would you rather have, Hurts or Watson going forward? And it's looking like Hurts is going to win by a landslide. There's just a volume of women that have came out against Deshaun Watson is terrible. I don't see any way he recovers from this. I don't see any way. I don't want to place blame on Deshaun Watson, but I don't see how all of it's a lie. There's just that the volume of it is just troubling. That's all I'll say on that. But Nico Collins lands in a good situation here in terms of chances of getting on the field. He's got Brandon Cooks in front of him, and that's really about it in terms of top-level talent. They got Kiki Kuti, but if you can't beat out Kiki Kuti, by the end of the year, you might be able to just drop Nico Collins. But I like the kid. I think he'll do fine. It really just depends on what their quarterback situation looks like. I probably end up being Davis Mills by the end of the year because I don't see anything happening with Watson there. If he by some miracle is cleared to play, he'll probably trade it anyway. At the 212, I went with Pat Freiermuth. I had to take my Steeler here, man. I think he's going to be the next Heath Miller in terms of great Steeler tight ends. I really, really liked Freiermuth coming out. He is going to take a couple years to develop. But that being said, he just got completely diminished because of Kyle Pitts being such a generational talent. People just really, really overlook Pat Freiermuth, and I'm excited to see him in a Steeler uniform. And I think you give him, 3 by the end of his rookie contract, he's going to be a tight end 1, let's say, top 12 tight end for sure. Not for sure, obviously, because rookies are hit or miss, but in my opinion, he'll be a top 12 tight end by the end of this contract. I'm going to run through round 3 a little bit quicker because I kind of been going over some of these guys already the last couple weeks, and it's round 3. It's dart throws. Let's face it. With the first pick in the third round, Tom took Dwayne Eskridge, 4 years, $1.4 million, wide receiver, Seattle. Here you're with you're playing with Russell Wilson. If one of the top two dogs there, Lockett or Metcalf, get hurt, Eskridge could see a ton of work. Other than that, he's a nice third option there in Seattle, and you can't go wrong with having one of Russ's guys there. At the 3-2, we have Kenneth Gainwell, 4 years, $953,000, running back, Philadelphia Eagles. The kid kept Antonio Gibson on the bench basically at Memphis, so he's got talent. He got stuck behind Miles Sanders, bad landing spot. We'll see what happens with him. At the 3-3, Tom took Diami Brown, 4 years, $1.2 million, wide receiver for the football team. They did sign Curtis Samuel. They got McLaurin, but then again, they got Fitzmagic. The dude can throw for 500 yards a week. You just never know when he's going to. No, I'm kidding. I love Fitzmagic. Got to have the beard. But Diami Brown's definitely worth a dart throw here in the third round. An injury happens, something like that. He could step up big, but never know what'll happen there. At the 3-4, I took Kellen Mond, quarterback, Minnesota Vikings, 4 years, $1.3 million. He's the perfect quarterback for a rebuilding roster, in my opinion. Kirk Cousins is only getting older. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of love for him in Minnesota for some reason. I don't think he'll be there much longer. And then, that may be Kellen Mond's time to shine. It's hard telling with that late of a, he's a third-round pick. They don't tend to work out, but we'll see. At the 3-5, Tom took Tutu Atwell, 4 years, $1.4 million. Wide receiver, Los Angeles. He sniped me again, man. He sniped me all draft long, I swear. I swear, Tom, you got me every pick. No, seriously, thank you for the help. Tutu Atwell, he's got a ton of draft capital, the second round. He's drafted by the Rams. It's hard telling how they're going to use him. It seems like they draft a receiver in the second that sucks every year. So we'll see with Tutu Atwell, but he's got the draft capital, so it's definitely a great pick there. At the 3-6, Jordan Palmer, 4 years, $1.2 million, wide receiver, Chargers. He starts his career with Justin Herbert. Enough said. At the 3-7, we got Anthony Schwartz, 4 years, $1.2 million, wide receiver, Cleveland Browns. Dude's a track star. He's going to be the deep threat for the Browns from day one. He definitely should see the field. Good pick there. At the 3-8, Javion Hawkins, 3 years, $800,000, running back, Atlanta Falcons. I took him there. If something happens to Mike Davis or he falters or honestly, even if nothing happens to Mike Davis, I still see Javion Hawkins getting some work if he looks decent. At the 3-9, he took Jarrett Patterson, running back, Washington football team, 409 yards, 8 touchdowns in one game. That's all I'm saying about the kid. The 3-10, Davis Mills, 4 years, $1.3 million, quarterback, Houston Texans. Like I said, a little bit ago with the Deshaun Watson situation, he should see the field at some point this year. Tyrod Taylor's a solid bridge quarterback, but eventually Davis Mills will pick up that offense, and they're going to see what they got in him at some point. At the 3-11, Jamar Jefferson, 4 years, basically $900,000, running back, Lions. Jamar Jefferson's in just an offense that loves running back by committee, so why not take a chance and see if they're going to do it again with the new coaching staff. At the 3-12, Tylan Wallace, 4 years, $1.1 million. Wide receiver, Baltimore Ravens. He was slowed by injuries in college, but like I said, he's in an ascending offense. If Bateman fails and Wallace shines, you got the backup there. That's all I got for you guys this week. The video was a little long. I apologize about that, but I hope you guys really enjoyed the mock draft. I hope it gives you guys some of an idea what's going to happen on draft day. I really feel like these leagues, going through all of these leagues after the drafts happen, I really, really feel like they're going to be vastly different. From what I've seen, everybody just values these players differently. Everybody values contracts differently. Some people don't care about big contracts. Some people won't touch big contracts. It just depends on who's in your league, and you will see a lot of different draft boards, I feel like. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think I'm going to be. I think, I don't think you're going to see the top 7 picks be the same in majority of the league. It'll be the same players, but it won't be in the same order. So in some leagues, Devonta Smith is going to fall down here. In some leagues, he's going to be up at the 1-4, the 1-5. Somebody's going to fall in love with him, an Eagles fan or something. Or somebody's going to be low on maybe a few people in the league are low on Kyle Pitts and he falls down to the 1-7. Things are going to be different. I promise you that. It's going to be a lot of fun. June 4th. I cannot wait for rookie drafts. I'm going to be wheeling and dealing. At least I'm going to be trying to. I got the 1-1 in 1. I got the 1-2, the 1-4, the 1-6, the 1 or the 1-2, 1-4, 1-7, 1-8, and my one rebuild team that is not going to be rebuilding after this season. I'm ready to compete with these rookies if I hit. I just need 2 of them to hit, and I'm going to be competing big time this year on that team. Turn it around really, really quickly. I'll update that one. That was the team that we're rebuilding together. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys this week. Thank you for watching. Tell some friends about Dynasty Owner. Make sure you check out Nate, Steve, and the Jerks articles. And videos, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to Dynasty Owner. We love you guys. I'm out. Have a good one.